Hey guys, just kind of catch y'all up on what's been going on around here lately. Got some mail this week from a pen painter and the Rick Fix. Awesome stickers, guys. Sorry it took me so long to get them put up that I received them, but it's been kind of hectic here. I've been having some dental problems. I've had to go to the dentist and get some stuff taken care of, so that's kind of put a halt on a lot of the stuff in the garage. I hadn't really felt like doing much, so here's a picture of the Jag independent rear suspension cradle. I got it all washed off and degreased first part of the week. I've got all the mounting brackets where they mounted to the Jaguar frame, all the bolts and stuff sprayed down with some penetrating liquid to break those loose. And once I've got that done, I think I'm going to have to end up sectioning this part off the end of it to narrow it so that it'll fit between the frame rails on my Mustang. Once I get those mounting brackets taken off, I can get it up on here and get an exact measurement how much I need to take off to get it to fit between the frame rails on the Mustang, and then I can figure out where to put the stiffener plates back in and then figure out how to reattach these. At first I thought about just doing away with the rubber mounts altogether, but several people, quite correctly so, said that that would definitely transmit a lot of vibration to the frame from the rear end. So I am going to be reusing these in some form or fashion. Re-weld them back to this bracket. I can shorten it up quite a bit because these bolts right here are where the shock mounts go, and I probably got, I don't know, maybe 2 inches or so before I got into where the shocks were that I can shorten this on either side. I don't think I'm going to have to narrow it quite that much. Once I get the bolts and everything off of this, I'm going to clean the degreaser, or I'm sorry, the penetrating fluid off, stick it in my blast cabinet with trash bag over the end of it to keep the media contained, and get this thing all blasted down to get all the rest of the corrosion, a little bit of surface rust and stuff there is on it, down to bare metal, and I'm going to edge prime it, and then I'll be ready to weld the brackets and stuff on the end. But I definitely want to get all this paint off of here to make sure that I got all the rust and stuff squared away. But anyway, that's kind of what's been going on. Nothing real major. Got on Mumble last night with several of the guys. That was always a fun time. If any of you haven't tried that yet, you definitely need to come by there and get on, because it's really a great place to hang out. We all got on there and talked for quite a while. I think we were on there like 1:30 last night, or this morning. We all had a really good time. So if any of you guys haven't got a chance to do that yet, you definitely want to go over there and check it out. Just like talking on the phone or being around all your buddies, so it's definitely a fun time. One of the guys, WTVM123, Terry, had said something about me if I finished up my sheet metal brake, and if so, could I do like a little demo on it? So yeah, here it is. It's finished, and I've actually used it on a couple of different projects, but right now I've got a piece of sheet metal set up in there, and basically, turn this around, let's see. On this end up here, I've got a, I'm going to bring it up a little closer. Sorry for the shaky cam. It's basically a 2-bolt setup, on either side of it for the hold down. I've got one bolt on this end, and there's another bolt on the other end, and that's what clamps the sheet metal in place. I generally leave the other end tight, and I work off of one end. Since I'm left-handed, I generally work off of this left-handed end of it. I've got it loosened up enough now to get this piece of sheet metal in place, and I've marked a couple of different divisions on it, so by loosening this bolt and raising up slightly, I can slide this sheet metal in to where my marks are that I want to make my first bend, and just take a ratchet wrench and snug this up, which doesn't take just a couple of seconds. At some point I may work on a cam lock system, but for right now it's functional, and that's the main thing I was concerned with. I've got pipes bolted on either end of it, and then basically what I do is I just take and grab a hold of this, raise that up to the degree of the bend that I want, which in this case is going to be about 90 degrees, give or take a degree or so. Sometimes you have to overbend it just a little bit because you will have some spring back on the metal, which this is not a real heavy gauge, it's only like 22 gauge. Then basically loosen that up a little bit. Slide this out, and I'm going to rotate it around, and basically repeat that same bend again, 2 inches on the other side, so it's making like a channel. Plus, it's also got some adjustability front to back so that I can kind of accommodate different gauges of sheet metal. So if I'm using something real thin, I can actually bring it up real close to where the pivot point is at. And if I'm doing something that's a little bit thicker, I can move it back to gauge the thickness of the metal. So that way I kind of get an accurate bend with it. Oh, too much. I hope you guys are still being able to see this. I'm kind of working it and kind of looking at the viewfinder on the camera. So, all right, we got that done, and raise that up a little bit over. Yeah, that's pretty good. I've tried up to like a 16 gauge piece of metal. That's probably about the limit of what this machine will want to bend accurately, because after that it starts kind of fudging in the ends a little bit because there is no real support in the center of the bed. It's just a hinge point on each end. But I can't see, I'm going to be doing a whole lot of stuff in thicker than that. But as you can see, it's not too bad. You know, nice straight corners. Trying to get it to where I can see it in the camera. There we go. You know, this will make some pretty nice patch panels. At least I think it would. A lot better than me trying to bend it by hand over a piece of angle iron with a you know, a hammer and a mallet, or you know, two pieces of this stuff pushed together trying to hold it. So there you go, one sheet metal brake in action. Like I said, I got the plans off of I believe off eBay for like $10. I had to buy the 2-inch angle. I'm sorry, maybe that may be 3-inch angle. Let me measure it. Get my tape measure. Oh well. But anyway, I bought all the materials, the angle iron, but everything else I kind of had, except for these pivot points that I had to have made because they were machined on the corners. If you go back to the original video when I was building it, it kind of gives you a little bit more detail. But the piping I had, the angle iron I had, the I-beam and stuff I had, which was off an old trailer tongue, and I set it on the front to kind of stand on to give me more leverage when I pull up on the brake. Plus it also kind of helps steady it. The more weight you've got on one, the little bit easier it is to move the handle up and down so the whole thing doesn't want to give. I do have the whole thing on wheels, so it is kind of easy to push around and get it out of the way whenever you're not using it, because it is a pretty good size. It's 6 feet long, probably 2 feet deep, and almost 3 feet tall. So it is something that you want to kind of make portable if you can, so that way whenever you're not using it, you can push it back out of the way. Again, I ain't got a whole lot done on the car. Haven't been up here a whole lot because of the heat and then all the stuff going on at work with all the HVAC stuff flying apart. Really hadn't felt like coming up here and suffering through the heat, which today it's actually kind of nice. It's only 80 degrees up here, so it's not too bad, but we're getting some thunder and stuff going on in the distance, so I'm sure we're fixing to get some rain, which is good because we need it. So, with that all going on, hope all you guys are doing okay. It was wonderful talking to all of you last night on Mumble. I really enjoyed that. Had a great time. Stu, Ben Painter, I appreciate the sticker. Rick Fix, thank you again. That's awesome too, buddy. Here's a little bit of a shot of the panel. I flipped it over since this one side of it is all boogered up. All the foobar with the paint. I'm going to finish trying to get it sanded here in the next day or so and get it primed, painted with some real base coat, clear coat, and get you guys up on there with all the rest of my YouTube brothers and get everybody on there so it's looking good. HPR, hope you're back soon, buddy. Definitely miss you not being around. Dave's Customs, really like to see a video from you too, my friend. It'd be good to see you. I know you're probably pretty busy with everything that's going on, trying to keep stuff going on. Fred, Just Hogging Cycles, be nice to see a video from you, dude. It'd be awesome. Well, with that, I'm going to let all of you go, and I hope you all are doing well, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.